General Anderson and Natalya Sokolova's new alliance has led to the True Sons being embedded into the Black Tusk. They have been helping Sokolova grow her fleet of hovercrafts in DC. There are concerns that this could lead to increased mortar strike activity. Division agents have been tasked with taking down a new team formed through this new alliance. They are heavily armed and know exactly where to attack in order to do the maximum amount of damage. The first target is Charles Chucks Crawford. Ex-Navy, he is an engineer by trade. He has control issues, possesses sadistic tendencies, and has very little regard for the value of human life. Charles Chunks Crawford had a background in the Navy as an ENT, or Electronics Technician Nuclear Power, before being recruited by the Black Tusk. He was highly skilled at tending to reactors on submarines, and preferred deep sea over the surface. He was known as Chunks when he first entered the Navy because of his severe seasickness. He discovered that he could handle subterranean life better than life on a surface ship, and asked to be transferred to the nukes. Considered as the Navy's best and brightest, nukes are known for being a bit eccentric, with some struggling to handle the stress and demands of the job. But Chunks embraced this position and saw himself as the ideal nuke. However, beneath his seemingly harmless nickname and impressive technical skills, lurked a disturbing and unsettling personality. Chunks was known to have control issues and an insatiable desire for power and control over others. His sadistic tendencies were evident in his disregard for value of human life. He would often take pleasure in manipulating and dominating his subordinates, treating them like mere tools to be used for his own benefit. In his mind, the ends always justified the means, no matter how many lives were sacrificed in the process. His twisted behavior made him a feared and respected member of the Black Tusk. His superiors appreciated his unwavering loyalty and willingness to carry out orders without question. Chunks may have been a master at tending to reactors, but his true talent lay in his ability to manipulate and control those around him.
We're set up on the Potomac, Miss Sokolova. Everything's in working order.
But?
Morale is low.
Main complaint?
The food. We got plenty of MREs, but all we got are MREs. The crew is getting enough to eat, but it's not enjoyable.
You want me to find you a chef?
That's excessive. But if we could get some fresh food, it would go a long way towards boosting morale.
You want salads?
Yes.
There are plenty of wild edibles by the river.
Or we could just take the campus.
In time. For now, if you want a salad, go forage one. How's morale?
Great.
Your team enjoying foraging?
Not exactly.
I told you to leave the campus alone.
We did.
I don't need you drawing unwanted attention before we're ready.
We found a small community north of the city.
Any agents?
No. All civilians. Some kind of prepper or homesteading community. They were isolated and well hidden.
Not that well hidden.
We spotted 3 of them fishing and tracked them back to camp with a drone.
Occupy or raid?
Occupy. Left a couple of guards to keep their operation going. We can rely on weekly harvest from the farm for the troops in DC, and they've already put up a fair amount for winter.
Do you need replacements for the guards?
Not yet, but we could use transpo if you want to supply the other teams. Is it true?
Is what true?
What people are saying about St. Louis?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Scuttlebutt is there was an attack.
You're going to have to be more specific.
Outcasts and rogue agents working together.
What would the Outcasts be doing in St. Louis?
You tell me.
You're acting paranoid.
Do we need to worry about radiation poisoning?
From St. Louis?
From Outcasts?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes. If you're really worried, get a Geiger counter.
Where am I supposed to get one of those?
Department of Interior, Parks and Recreation, your prepper group, a spy museum, the power plant. Pick your poison.
On first listen, these comps may not seem very significant, but the last one in particular is actually referencing events that played out in the Division Recruited novel. This is confirming that the game is playing out alongside the novels, and it's quite cool to see the crossovers here. To give some background, Rowan is a former Division agent turned rogue, and was once a part of the cell of agents that the novel follows. Rowan's family had been killed following the outbreak, like so many others, but she was led to believe that the true sons were responsible due to the events that played out on Roosevelt Island, when in reality, this was a lie, told to her by the cell leader. Her family were sent into a quarantine, but it wasn't the JTF or the true sons who killed them. After the Outcasts took over and seized control of the camp, the Division launched a strike, and her family was caught in the crossfire and killed. The Division killed a family of an agent, and that was hidden from her. She would go on to weaponize a sample of the green poison and then release it into the water supply of an encampment of True Sons. The True Sons were decimated, but not before they had spread it to 3 nearby civilian communities. Hundreds of people died. But Rowan would then find out the truth of what actually happened to her family, and she took the betrayal hard. 2 Division agents were dispatched to bring her in for questioning. She killed both and then disappeared. Her actions drew the attention of the Outcasts. They approved of her measures, and given that they are now leaderless, she obviously offered them something in return for their help. The attack in St. Louis happened while the cell was in pursuit of Rowan, who was on her way to attack one of the SHD cores. There were explosions, and the buildings around them started to crumble, and this is where Isaac announced, "Warning, radiation detected." The Outcasts were using dirty bombs. Now it makes sense that Chunks is so concerned about this. Being a former Navy nuclear technician, he is more than well aware of the dangers of radiation. I don't think the story has caught up with what happened at the end of Recruited, so I won't talk about that anymore in this video. However, given Sokolova's response to this, there could be more crossovers to come regarding the Outcasts, and I'm going to speculate more on this in another video soon. The story of Chunks' demise began with a tip received by the Division agents. According to their intel, Chunks was hiding somewhere within the West Potomac Park of Washington, D.C. The agents set out to take down the Black Tusk outposts one by one until they found themselves at the Lincoln Memorial. The Black Tusk had fortified the area heavily, and it seemed like a daunting task for the agents to get through, but they were determined to stop Chunks, and slowly but surely, they made their way through the facility. Despite facing numerous enemies, including heavily armed guards and warhounds, the agents were relentless in their pursuit. Finally, they came face to face with their target. Chunks appeared to be caught off guard and didn't put up much resistance. The agents swiftly cleared out his bodyguards, and in no time, Chunks was eliminated. After successfully eliminating Chunks, we have obviously only scratched the surface of a much larger problem. The intel gathered during the mission hints at a dirty bomb threat linked to the Outcasts. As per usual, the first target has raised more questions than answers. While Chunks is now gone, I think that we'll be hearing more from him in future intel, given the potential direction we could be heading regarding radiation and dirty bombs. In the next video that I'm working on now, I plan to dive deeper into the Season 11 trailer and the various elements that have been shown, including the mysterious hunter drones and related intel that has been uncovered. I also want to talk about the castle settlement and the potential significance of the name that came up during the Chunks mission. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and Extremis Mollis, Extrema Remedia.